Hello and welcome to ECU Libraries. My name is Katie Cavanaugh and I'm a librarian at ECU's Joiner Library. This is part of the graduate research series conducted in spring 2014. Today we'll be talking about RefWorks, which is a reference management software. It allows you to upload references for your research, manage those within a nice interface, and then make a bibliography at the very end. Today I'm starting out on the ECU Libraries homepage, which is where you will come into the libraries if you're coming out of Blackboard. You may also see a specific website for Joiner or Health Sciences Library if you are on either of those campuses. The place that RefWorks is stored on our website is under the Research Tools tab under Database List. Although RefWorks is not specifically a database for you to do research, this is a tool that is a subscription tool that we pay for, so it is listed under the database list. The easiest way to find RefWorks is to click on the R right here in the A to Z list. RefWorks will be the fifth one down under the R's, and it says right below it, must register to use. So we're going to do that right now. When you get to this page, you'll see that there's a login name and password. Unfortunately, this is not the same as your Pirate ID and passphrase. You will have to sign up for a new account if you do not have one already. It's as simple as putting in your email address and a login name and password. Click Next and you'll be on your way to creating a RefWorks account. I'm going to log in with mine right now. And close this message. Okay, so this is the RefWorks page that you will see. Yours won't have any references in it. I have quite a few since I actually use this for my own research. So let me give you a quick tour around this interface. Right here you see every reference in your list. As you can see, I have about 83, and so if I scroll up and down, I'll see all of those in here. If I wanted to add a reference by hand, I could do that by clicking Add New. You also have the option to import and export your references. I'll get to this a bit later, but you can only use RefWorks through ECU while you are here as a student at ECU. So it may be necessary to import and export your references if you leave ECU or go to another institution. Here is a view area. We've got the bibliography, which I'll get to in a little while, and so on and so forth. Folders are one of the main things that I would suggest using in RefWorks. As you can see over here, I have a number of folders that I have used for different projects that I have worked on in the past. You have another option to create a bibliography and create a new reference, because that's mainly what you're going to be doing in here. In each of these references, you are going to see that there is the title of the journal, the source where it comes from, and the option to click on this Find It button. If you click on this, it will take you into our databases and try to locate that article. In this case, we have it in full text right here, and so we can see that RefWorks allows us to continue to read this information after it is in here. It's not just a one-way street. You don't just put it in here and then leave it. I'm going to show you now, I'm going to open another tab and go into a database and do some searching. So now that we've done a little tour around the interface, what I'd like to do is show you how you would find some things and how it would work into a database. So if you click on Find Databases, we are just going to look in one called Academic Search Complete. It's a really broad database, so there'll be a lot on a lot of things. I'm going to search for mesothelioma, which is a type of lung cancer, and do a search. when I get this search, I see that there are a number of different articles on this topic. The point is not at this point what articles are the best articles or anything like that. We're just going to see how to get them into RefWorks. So if I decide that I really want this one, I really think this one, and let's just click on these. So what I'm doing here is adding these to a folder within the database. Up here it says folder has items. So within the database I go to folder view. Once in this folder view, I can see the articles that I have chosen today, and I can click on where it says export. It says number of items to be saved is 4, and right here at the bottom it gives me the option to directly export it into RefWorks. I want to pause here just to say that each database is slightly different, but that most of them do allow direct export in RefWorks. If you see, if you don't see that, right up here you'll see direct export in RIS format, something like that. These are a more general format that allows it into anyone pretty much. It's just going to be kind of a basic file that's going to take it over. In this case, RefWorks has its own button, so we're going to click here. But if you don't see RefWorks listed, which honestly is pretty rare, you can click one of these other options up here in a basic format and still get it in there. So we're going to click on direct export into RefWorks and click on save for now. It opens a new tab, and we are importing our references now. So we have some options here. We can see an import log. I don't use that one very much. One other thing you can say is edit imported references. So if you wanted to change anything, or in this case you can also add it into a folder you've already created, and then click Save Changes. I'm not going to actually do that right now. I want to go view the last imported folder because this is more likely what you're going to see on your screen. If you don't have a folder set up, you can actually make a new folder here under the new folder icon. So if you don't have a folder already named mesothelioma or whatever you are searching, create one now if you're following along. If I want all of these to be in the folder and I am in my last imported folder, not in that last screen where I could save it to a folder, I can click on each of these and then click, and you see it automatically updates and says 4 items were moved into mesothelioma. I had previously 9 articles in there and now I have 13, so you can see they were added there. We're going to click on this and see that all of my research exists right here, and that each of the articles is there and available. Now, we may not have every single article. This one we may have, this one we may or may not have. So I'm going to click on it and see if we do have it. Okay, we do have this one, and I would like to save this article. RefWorks has some great tools that you can use, and so I want to bring your attention back on the RefWorks page to a notes field that's there. It looks like a piece of paper with a pencil over it. If you click on this, you get a new screen that says Edit Reference. It gives you the title and so on, which is helpful, and if you need to edit any of that, for instance, you see someone's name spelled wrong or something like that, you can come in here. Now, this must be one I've worked on before. Another thing you have down here is an attachments file. You can save the PDF back on this page. You can go to View PDF and then save it, and then you can actually upload it right here as an attachment, and it will appear in here. It doesn't automatically do this. This must be, as I said, one that I worked on before. Let's find a newer one. So I'm going to go through this. If I wanted to use this one, I'm going to open it up, find the article again, locate it, and as you can see, the Find It button works pretty well. So if you don't feel like you need to do this, that's fine too. One thing you may want to do though is to save this as an attachment, and the reason why is that if you're off campus, it's sometimes harder to access the materials. You have to log in with a pirate ID and passphrase and so on. It's not impossible, of course, but if you feel that you would like to put these as attachments in your references, you can go to Attachments, Downloads, and Open. And now you've got this article attached, and you can read it anytime by going into this attachments field, clicking on it, and opening it. There is a limit to how many attachments you can do. I think the limit is 1 or 2 gigabytes. And as you can see, these PDF files are really tiny, so it's not necessarily going to be filling up quickly, but I wanted to let you know about that limitation. One other additional field that I wanted to tell you about is that there is a personal notes field. Now, a friend of mine did her dissertation when I was at another institution, and she used this personal notes field in RefWorks to kind of make an annotated bibliography within RefWorks. So she would read with the article open, and then in the personal notes field she would take notes. Like on page 23, he talks about mesothelioma in this article, and I would like to quote this section in my literature review. Something to that effect would be in this personal notes field. And then once she got to a point where she was going to be actually writing the lit review, she sat down and actually compiled all those notes and was able to kind of pull them all together. Especially if you're doing a lot of research where you're reading a lot of articles, this may be helpful for you. It's just a suggestion. You don't have to do it. But you know, you could use this personal notes field and have everything all together. So we're just going to save this so that that PDF is on there. Sorry, save, and we'll close that. Okay, so we've now seen some pretty neat resources that you can use once you have the journal articles referenced in RefWorks. But of course, the real strength of this product is that you would want to use this for a bibliography. So if I wanted to create a bibliography, I could either do it up here or down here, and either one is fine. I'm going to click it right up here. Now, I primarily use APA, but I've set some other favorites up here on this list. If you don't see the kind of output style that you're looking for, so you're looking for a specific one that's for the sciences or for the health sciences, that I don't believe all these favorites just show up. What you do is you click on Manage Output Styles. The big ones are going to be there. I believe APA, Chicago, and MLA are going to be on there. But let's say you have something very specific, like Council of Science Editor Style. I'm going to just search for Council. Here we go. We've got the Council of Science Editor Style. We're going to click on that, and this little green arrow allows me to add it as a favorite. If I no longer want it as a favorite, say I change my major or decide I don't want to do that anymore, I can actually move it back out of there, and it becomes part of the list of output styles again available. So this is where you would locate something that was other than, you know, the APA Chicago kind of styles that are more or less prevalent. Since I already have this, I'm going to leave it on APA because that's the kind of citation style I use for librarianship. I am going to choose a file type of Word for Windows. So I would really prefer to have this in Word. And if I click Create Bibliography, it says Bibliography complete. If you do not receive a file download prompt, click here, or if you want the file emailed to you, click here. This is a good point to take a stop and just say that RefWorks works with a lot of pop-up windows. If you have pop-up windows blocked, or like me, your institution blocks pop-ups by default, you can click on Options and then just Show. If you cannot get pop-ups, no matter what, you can go down to this completed box down here in the lower right hand corner and have the file emailed to you. So some institutions or some different computers might be more or less locked down, and so if yours is locked down, they give you the option of having it emailed. We are going to open this reference list, and I'm going to resize this so you can see it. In my Word document, I have the items that I had selected for putting into my list. These were the ones from my most recent list that were still checked. If you see that only a few of them came through but you wanted everything in your folder, close this down and close this down as well. You can make sure to have all references in list selected when you create the bibliography. It's also an option right here. So make sure you have all the selected ones are the ones that had the check marks next to it. The ones that were all on this page, that's that option, and then all of the ones in this folder or list are another option. The HTML, I don't tend to use these file types just because they aren't formatted as well as the others. So I'm going to again create a bibliography to see all of them. My options are I'm going to show just that one and open it. And now I do see all of these options, you know, all 13 of them there in the list. I can copy this into the end of my Word file. It's going to be correctly formatted in alphabetical order, and anything that's needed like links and so on are going to be available. So this is the real strength of working with RefWorks. It just makes everything so much easier when you're creating the bibliography, and I know how much of a pain that can be. I'm going to close this references list out, and that is basically the main part you will see of RefWorks. That's the main functionality. Now there is a product, I'm not going to cover it today, but it's called Write and Cite. It is a Word plugin, and it is a part of RefWorks. This product is something that if you download it, you will be able to do in-text citations that are linked to your RefWorks account. So you have to have RefWorks open, and it allows you to correctly document that in Word. If you want to learn more about that or any other RefWorks product, they do have a number of really great tutorials. And so this is just a basic overview of RefWorks while you're at ECU. If you want to learn more about this, there are options for doing that. I have a number of tutorials linked on our Graduate 101 research tutorial. I'm going to shrink this page and go there with you now. It's under LibGuides, libguides.ecu.edu/graduate101. So again, that URL is libguides, libguides.ecu.edu/graduate101. Once here, there is a RefWorks tab, and if you click on it, you can see all of these tutorials about RefWorks. If you click on the image, it will take you to it. These first four are basically what I have gone over today in this presentation. Down here, there's additional RefWorks tutorials, including one about Write and Cite. So if you're interested in learning more about Write and Cite, which is again a product that you can download as a plugin for Word, and that helps you do in-text citations with RefWorks, feel free to watch this video and learn more about how to do it. That's all I have today on the topic of RefWorks. If you have questions, I want to encourage you to ask a librarian. We are available through the ECU Libraries page under Ask Us, and many of us are fluent in RefWorks, so we'll be happy to help you. You can also schedule a consultation or meet with your liaison librarian if you're over at Lapis Library, and in that case they could sit down with you and walk you through how to do this in more detail if you have questions. We love hearing from students. We love supporting our graduate students here at ECU Libraries, so we hope to hear from you soon, and we hope to see you at another graduate research series in the future. Thank you.